Hey guys, this is Manifesting Better, and I'm back with another video and another topic that needs to be addressed. I also have an Instagram account. The link for that is in the description box below. Coaching is also available. The link for that too is in the description box below. Today's video is going to be a shorter video because I am taking a topic that will differ from person to person, because these topics have a lot of variables involved, which means that in your particular situation, the situation might be totally different, and for someone else, the situation might be totally different. So, I am going, which I cannot address here. So, I am going to be taking this in a very general perspective so that most of you can self diagnose and self work on your fears yourself in this scenario. So, my topic is facing your fears while manifesting. How to face your fears while manifesting. How do we work on that? So, firstly, you need to understand what do I mean by facing your fears and why should you face your fears. Let's discuss all of it. The first thing to know is that everyone has fears. I do, you do, your friends, your specific person, your mentor, your coach, the celebrity you idolize, everyone has fears. And people who are really good at manifesting are very good at not acting on them and facing them head on. Now, there are two different kind of fears that you will encounter in this journey. So let me cover both of them. The first type of fears, on which these are the fears that you wouldn't have to act on, would be self-limiting fears. So these fears are fears where you have a fear that if I don't act in XYZ way, which means if I don't act on my insecurity and I don't do a certain set of things, what I want won't happen. These are fears like, for example, if I won't text him, how will the relationship work? If I don't take the lesser behavior that this person is offering, how will it work? If I don't settle for a lesser salary, why will I get more? If I don't, if I put up a boundary, they won't contact me. If I stand up for myself, they won't respect me. Stuff like that. These are fears that you have which are limiting you from being there for yourself. So these are things that you are acting on based out of insecurities and based out of a perception of yourself which makes you feel lesser than other people and other things. In this fear, you will probably be more towards the line of people pleasing, right? These are situations where people settle for lesser behaviors. These are situations where people have smaller boundaries, where they let the other person get away with a lot of things, and where the other person can disrespect them, and they would somehow, even if they are not okay with that, they won't do anything about it, right? This is where you will also, it will also come out when you will be forcing techniques. So if I don't visualize, it won't happen. If I don't affirm all day, it won't happen. If I don't chant some one sentence 1,000, 1,000, 2,000 times a day, it won't happen. If I don't drink this extra special water, my manifestation won't come to pass. So these are fears based on that. Now these are fears that you will have, but it's not about it, it's all about not acting on them, right? So how to not act on them? First of all, you need to have a very strong why you're not acting on them, right? Which means that when your why will be strong, you will know that I won't react on these things. The second thing with these fears is that you will have to have this understanding that anytime you are growing, you will learn that uncertain situations will be your friend, which means that you will have to learn to be, and this is a very cliche sentence, but you will have to learn to be comfortable while being uncomfortable. Because when you will not be doing these things, this will put you in an uncomfortable position in life, right? Where you will feel uncomfortable because your normal is acting on these fears. So when you will stop acting on these fears, it will start putting you into an uncomfortable zone. And then you can deal with these feelings by sitting with them or by using the steps of resistance I have already posted in one of my earlier videos. I will link it down below. The second kind of fears are the fears that you should face. These are the fears that are standing in front of you and your growth. These are the things that you're holding on to, which are creating more resistance, right? These are things like I'm so scared of putting the focus on myself because I feel that if I put the focus on myself, it won't happen, right? And facing this fear will eventually make you grow. And so things like I'm afraid of going in the water, but if I do that, if I face that fear, I will learn how to swim. I'm afraid of going on top of a building because I'm afraid of heights. But if I see that height, I will probably face that fear and I will become a more limitless person. These are more on the lines of if I won't drink, people won't like me. If I don't have this, if I don't create more boundaries, people won't like me. So these are fears that you will have to face and act against. So the first one was that you don't have to act on these fears. This is where you have to act. You have to do something, right? So when you will have these kind of fears are more along the lines where dealing with these fears will actually end up making you grow as a person. So even if you are uncomfortable, there will come a feeling of pride after you face that fear, right? So facing these fears is the most important thing. Like when you will face all these fears, it will come out to be a very helpful thing for you. Now, why should we face these fears? Because there are two things. So many people will tell me that, oh, I don't have to face my fears to manifest. Well, if you want your manifestations to stay, you will probably have to face them someday. Because what happens is that when you don't deal with these fears, and even if you get your manifestations, it doesn't last very long because these fears manifest still because you're acting on them, and your characterization, your actions is everything is based on these fears. So they just keep coming back. And the second thing is, even if it isn't related to your manifestation, in the end, the whole point of the spiritual journey of manifestation is to grow as a person. The whole point is to make yourself a better person every day, right? And this is a very good start to go forward with that. I intend that you get what I'm trying to tell you here because this can be a very tricky topic. And yeah, don't be so hard on yourself if you cannot do it instantly. Just strive to always do that in a better manner. I will see you guys in the next video.